Sorry, friends, it's Mitty Man coming back at you again from Walker's Music. We yet another word for the day. We give God the honor and the praise. Thank you for life, health, and strength for as well as it is. We give a shout out to everybody, all the YouTube family, In Town Harvest Game, Brother LA from Kingdom Knowledge, our favorite internet pastor, Michael G. McCray, as well as Pastor Johnny McCray, his wife, Evangelist Janet McCray. Also to the Blog Talk family, Lady D, Sister Maria, Brother JT, and matter of fact, now we want to give a big shout out to our brother K-Ray, Brother Kyron, and we missed Brother Kyron a couple of nights, but we know what time it is and the season and the thing, and things are happening, so we still count it as a blessing. We know it sometimes people are busy with other things and they cannot make it all the time. Nevertheless, we just wanted it, and that sort of ties into what I wanted to say this morning. And I was thinking about some things that I had undertook. You have to be careful as humans, because we tend to sometimes we can swell things up and we can promise things that we are not able to bring into fruition. In other words, we just need to be careful how we deal with our everyday relationships and the people in our lives. And you cannot help how a person feel about you. There's some people got their mind made up about you from the get-go, so either by word of mouth from other people, third parties talking about you, putting their mouths on you, not. You can't help that. There's nothing you can do about that. So I tend not to even worry about that. I just do this here and I'm here, throw that away, and move on. That's the best thing to do for that, because you cannot make anyone like you. Not everybody like Jesus, so you don't worry about that. But what I want to speak about is just talk about it briefly this morning, and I try to do this. I mean, I try very hard to maintain integrity. See, people, we sometimes we do things loosely, and we don't mind how we're not careful how we use certain things. Bible tells us in the book of Proverbs that having a confidence in an unfaithful person in time of trouble is like a broken tooth or a foot that's out of joint. And now, that's a good analogy, a great analogy, because if you have a broken tooth, you cannot chew on it. Or if you have a foot that's out of joint, you cannot stand on it. And that just absolutely just puts it in a nutshell about an unfaithful person. If you have the confidence in that type of person, when you get in trouble, you are in trouble, period. Because you cannot depend on anything. And that's a bad way to be. I wouldn't want it to be said, I wouldn't want to be labeled as that type of individual that cannot be trusted. In other words, and that your word is nothing. Your word, a king is bound by what he says. Therefore, a king must be very, very careful. And you would think that certain people would already automatically understand this sort of thing. When you're in a kingly position, and a kingly position could be a person that owns their own business per se. Like myself, I am Mitty Man. I have Walker's Music, my music business, as well as my tech support business in the PC, and therefore that's whole sort of a kingly position, and I must be very, very careful of what I say, because people will hold you to what you say. And if you get to the point where you get labeled as a person that cannot be trusted, that's a bad way to be. So we must be careful of what we promise. Therefore, like I say, just let us be very, very conscious about the things that we say, to make certain that we are capable to perform the things that we say. Be certain. And the one thing the Mitty Man is trying to do, I just try not to make promises, because first of all, I am not able to keep promises. I don't have time in my hand. I don't have my own life in my hand. In other words, see, I could promise you something that I'm going to do tomorrow or next week, and I may not be here next week. I could be sick. I don't have to be dead. I could just be too sick to do it. But I made a promise. So what we should do, the Bible has given us guidelines. In other words, I think what Apostle Paul said, what we should say is, if it be the Lord's will, we'll do such a thing on tomorrow or such thing. That's the way we should do it. But one thing I know is one thing I try to live by, as long as I can remember. If I tell you something, I try to do what I say. Integrity. That's the key. So with that being said, Many Man just going to say we thank everybody for all the support. We thank you from the videos and the blog talk and everything in the Bible study. It's not about Many Man. Never, never. It's about kingdom building. But we appreciate the ones that do support. And we are going to continue to do what thus says the Lord, if it be His will. We're going to do just that. And we just ask, a lot of times we can get caught up in them, and we can get very, very busy at times. So we just want to say again to all the contacts and everything, don't feel offended if sometimes you may seem like that old Many Man didn't say anything to you on the time he signed in to the various networks. It's nothing personal, but sometimes it's just like you just be caught up in other things, and sometimes it be an oversight, and then sometimes you just cannot get to it because you got 400 or 500 contacts or 400 or 500 people that you get in contact with. You cannot do that on an everyday basis. You have to do it over time. But nevertheless, we give God the glory, and we just say we thank you for your support, and never think that Many Man is underrating that, because I value it. With that being said, this is Many Man saying whatever you get into, if God is not in it, it's best that you come out of it. This is Many Man saying peace.